This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning and thank you very much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to the Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono, and this morning I'm going to be discussing something very important because it is a reason why some people never went to school. It is a reason why some people have missing body parts. It is the reason why some people act the way they act because they were raised in families that had this problem. It is the reason why sometimes people have lost even jobs. It is the reason why some people are even barren. It is the reason for every problem you can talk about. And what is this? This is gender-based violence. And we are in the 16 days of activism against. I have Solomon Chisache, who is a legal officer with Women's Pro Bono Initiative. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Robert.
To discuss these things.
We are allies in the cause.
Okay, because rarely do we see men taking on this. And of course, that is one of the contribution to why we still have this, because the crusade lacks men that understand. I understand better when Solomon speaks to me about certain things than when Grace speaks to me, because I have this, a fellow man is speaking. You know, you don't beat a woman. He's a man. Now, when a woman says you don't beat a woman, what would she say anyway? Now, just next to me, I have Grace Namataka. Hope I have it right, who is a feminist activist. Welcome to the show, Grace.
Thank you so much for having me. Good to be here.
Now, I want to begin with Solomon. First, let my viewer know, when we talk about the Women's Pro Bono Initiative,
yes,
what is this organization? What is your mandate?
Thank you so much, Robert. The Women's Pro Bono Initiative is a feminist organization that basically we're promoting gender justice. We believe that women have a stake and they're entitled to it. It's their right. They don't need to plead for it. And we do that through promoting autonomy and the voice of women as well, through strategic litigation. We do it through policy advocacy. And we also do it through legal representation in courts as well. And we also go down to the community and we have sensitizations as well with the women. So as a man, I am basically in this protocol of one as an ally to the women. I believe that women are mothers, are sisters, and could be our aunties as well. They have their rights, they're entitled to them, the same rights as men do have. what a man can do, basically, a woman can do. And I also serve there as a legal officer. So I'm there as in two capacities, as a male ally, but equally as a lawyer, because as a lawyer, you're a promoter of human rights. You're a judicial officer. So I promote women's rights and wrongs as well, if I'm to say that. Yes.
Okay, now coming back to Grace, a woman, as we handle this. First, for our viewer, gender-based violence, a brief definition to what this is.
Yeah, so the words in the phrase gender-based violence are pretty much the ones that we use to define what it is. So it's a form of pain or suffering or injury inflicted on an individual on the basis of their gender, on the basis of how they present, on whether they're male or female. So, for example, when you look at things like female genital mutilation, it is women or girls that have to undergo that because they are women or they are girls. So really it's a form of pain, injury that is inflicted on an individual by the mere fact of their gender.
Now also a quick one, when you talk about the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, why these days? We began, I think, on Tuesday, and they'll be running until the 10th of December, if I have it right there. So why?
So this campaign called the 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence was started in 1991 by a group of female activists, really to raise awareness on gender-based violence and violence against women, and to call to action. So it's a global campaign, and it happens annually from the 25th of November, which is also the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and runs until 10th December, which is International Human Rights Day. So it really, we just joined the whole world, the entire world, as Ugandans to raise the cause of the woman, to highlight that gender-based violence is a wrong, it's an abuse of human rights, and governments need to take action to end this, and individuals need to also refrain from violating women.
Now, this takes me to Solomon.
Yes.
This time around, we are looking at technology in promoting violence against women. Now, how does technology facilitate gender-based violence?
Thank you. Technology, now we are in the fourth industrial revolution. There's a lot of AI, technology, smartphones everywhere, and almost a good number of our people are online. They have access to the smartphones, tablets, and any kinds of technology. Now what happens, how does it facilitate? There's a lot of misinformation that is shared, the harassment that happens. I think you've seen a lot of trolling and on Twitter. When you post something, I don't know if Ugandans are just jealous people. Somebody will post how they are dressed, and there's a lot of backlash. There's a lot of harassment, we see it most especially with ladies. Also, there's a lot of sharing of these days of intimate pictures. Now, that is way facilitated using technology. Those days, I don't think you'd walk to a post office and send a mail that has someone's pictures or things like that. But then there's a lot of breach of privacy as well, the hacking that comes with phones, the stalking, online stalking, someone entering your inbox and sending you a WhatsApp message, and they are trying to put pressure on you. I don't know whether to date them or to have some intimate relationship with them. So that is all facilitated by technology. And those are the kinds of forms of technologically facilitated gender-based violence.
Now, Grace, what is this year's theme? And please enlighten more about this theme in relation also to technology.
Yeah, so this year we've decided to focus on ending digital violence against all women and girls. That's the year. I mean, that's a theme that we are focusing on, and it's very timely and very urgent, because all of us now live in a digital world. Our lives are literally operated online or using digital means. We research, we do school, we work, we even seek health services through online and digital platforms. So that has become a space. It's not a physical space, but it's a space that where we operate as humans, where life goes on. So it's very important that that's safe, that space is safe for everyone who uses it. Yeah.
Now, when we talk about this gender-based or stopping violence against the girl, child, and women using technology, most common is now today social media. Many a times, people, when I want Grace here to come in here, sometimes I'll use the commonest, where we see someone's nudes. That's a word now known by many Ugandans out there. Some have blamed these women for not being cultured, some for not considering about their privacy, over trusting. You know, we've seen so much of casting stones. You know, some say, but for sure a mature person send them to someone you allege you love, then by the way, why do you keep them in your phone? Why do you keep them on your PC? You know, so there are people who want to bring in their campaign, but are looking at us as an immoral generation and deserving of what happens to us. Please speak to that audience.
Yeah, so you see, Robert, all those whys that you've asked and all of the questions, all of that is coming back to the victim. It's blaming the person who's now the victim of the violence that has been perpetrated by technology. So I think we need to stop looking at why you did that from the victim's point of view to the perpetrator. Why did you violate my privacy? I mean, people take these pictures for all sorts of reasons, which I will not belabor. I mean, it's their rights, they are in their private spaces, and they trust their partners. So the problem is the betrayal and the abuse of the trust and the abuse of their right to privacy when this person brings these pictures to the public without the consent of the person whose pictures were taken. So that is a very common form of digital violence, and it's often done through blackmail, where they, threaten this person: if you do not give me this much, I'm going to release them. And we've seen women, even after, like giving the sum of money that has been requested, doing whatever the perpetrator has asked of them, and the pictures are still put out there in the public. So it also goes back to the sexualization of women's bodies. Women's bodies have been put out there on the internet as sites for people to comment, for people to look, for people to enjoy, for all sorts of reasons, which is really abusive. And we really do fear that this kind of abuse will shift from online to our spaces, to our physical spaces. Yeah.
Well, now that said, it brings me to matters regarding the law.
Yes.
Now, and I have a lawyer here with me, I won't bother. Now, let's look at the legal gaps.
Yes. The legal gaps, now there are laws that address technologically facilitated gender-based violence. You look at the Constitution, which you have your right to privacy. Degrading treatment is not allowed by our Constitution. But then you also have now the Computer Misuse Act, which the famously known Serikolo, Honorable Serikolo, the Computer Misuse Act. You also have the Data Protection and Privacy Act, and also the famous Anti-Pornography Act. Now, all these laws are there to prevent technologically facilitated gender-based violence. However, people are, I don't want to say ignorant, but they have less knowledge of these laws. They don't have enough awareness about the laws, but equally also the implementation of these laws at times is hard. And there's that big challenge that comes in, that the implementation is becoming a challenge. people don't know the reporting mechanisms. People don't know if there is evidence, how do I preserve this evidence to strengthen my case as a person. So I believe we need to strengthen the empowerment of these laws and the implementation of these laws, but equally we also need to create more awareness among our people. Under the law we say ignorance of the law is no defense. So we need to teach our people. If that is a principle that is in the law, that means we need to teach our people more about the laws that protect them, and we need to guide them as well. Yeah.
Very clear there. Ignorance of the law is not excuse. So we need to ensure that people are very aware of the law. And when you know the law, you're empowered.
True.
I've seen people but when the person screams aloud and says, I know what the law says, even a police officer will think twice. Even an offender will think twice.
Yes.
Someone says, you're not going to bull me around, I'm well conversant with what the law says, and I'll take you depending on the law. Now there you tone down. Say, okay. But where someone is totally ignorant, then my God, so much happens. Now before I leave you, Solomon, and head for a break, let's also look at, usually, I've seen the Women's Pro Bono Initiative have a set of activity as we move to the 10th of December. This year round, how are you doing things?
This year we are conducting media campaigns. We are trying to work with media houses to make sure that we have this engagement to teach people about their rights and laws that affect them, especially the women and girls. We are also trying to have sensitizations in the communities to teach still the women and girls about their rights and laws, but specifically in line with digital violence, since it's the theme for this month and this 16 days of activism. We've also done publications during this period around the same topic, digital violence, and we are still having now dialogues with stakeholders and our partners to make sure that we create a conducive environment, but equally how do we push for protection of women and girls in the community. Yeah.
Now let me go for a short break. We'll return with my guests as we still look at the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, but also with specific interest. This time we are looking at technology as a facilitator to gender-based violence against women and girls.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hdo.com or call 0800-335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
General, to invest in taxation, when people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of your... Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you for being with us. It's still issues of gender-based violence now that we are in the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. I have Solomon Chisache, who is a legal officer at Women's Pro Bono Initiative, and Grace Namataka. You know, I love land so much. So, Namataka, who is a feminist activist. Now, I'll begin with her. Now, when we talk about, first and foremost, the fact that this year we've chosen to focus on technology, and truth be said, it is one of the areas where women and girls have totally faced a lot of violence. But also I want to bring in, is it sometimes lack of information? Sometimes you see the women themselves violating their rights using these platforms. I'll give an example of TikTok. An app there, when you go to TikTok, you find that it's them themselves doing these things to themselves. You know, someone out there some expose even that pastor shouldn't be exposed. Some, they harass each other, a woman and a woman, you know. Wakuraboti, neno no kuraboti. So as we fight for them, let's also, as a lady, I know you witness these things, and maybe sometimes you're like, nah, yeah, the people we are fighting for, leave alone for me and Solomon, who are just coming in to say, let's not do it. But how do we handle that situation? Some even do funny things to get likes, you know, get following because they know someone will advertise because they have a huge following. So please fit into that.
So just to clarify, what I think is all the people that we are fighting for, what are they doing? They're exposing themselves. No. What the issue is that the internet is unsafe for all of us. And when it comes to women expressing themselves and their bodies in various ways that do not offend anyone or that are not what would be called pornography or vulgar, they are expressing themselves. They are using their art. Some are, you know, whatever it is, they're expressing themselves using TikTok, using an online platform. Now, the issue and what the problem is how safe are they as they're doing that? Because that is the problem. The problem is not them dancing on TikTok. The problem is how safe is TikTok for women and girls to fully express themselves the way they wish. Because some people are earning off those videos, TikTok. Like it's a way of living. It's their livelihood, right? However they are using it, as long as they are not like naked, the internet needs to be so much Robert, what is so much?
Now I may be having two lawyers. It becomes a problem.
Yeah,
because they'll go into this again. If I say so much, how much is so much?
Because so much is relative. Someone will post their picture on TikTok or whatever online platform in a two-piece. They're covering their breasts, they're covering their private area. But because you're seeing their stomach, you think that is too much. You know, and another person will not think that is too much. So it's really relative. But whatever it is that you think is too much or not too much, it needs to be safe for these women and girls. It does not call for bullying. Just because I am dancing on TikTok, just because I am
Seductively.
What is seductive? What is seductive? I need you to define that, because seduction is relative. What might seduce him might not seduce you.
True.
Right?
True.
He might find dancing seductive. You might find dancing not seductive. Just me walking, the way I walk, you find that seductive, right? So seduction is really, really relative.
Because I've seen some of them maybe trying to sell a commodity.
Which commodity?
Maybe clothes or something. And the way they put, even you look at the comment section, people are just saying, rather tell us you're looking for clients.
Too. You see, the problem is we see online spaces through the lenses of patriarchy, and how many times we view women and their bodies and everything that we do. We think that women are up to no good. If they are engaging or dealing in anything, it has to be their bodies, or it has to be part of their body, or it has to have something to do with their body. So someone is on TikTok, they've told you they're selling a product. If it's dresses, why aren't you focusing on the dresses as the merchandise that she is selling? Because
you have to dance, and I don't want to lure our discussion.
Advertisement looks different. Advertisement looks different in different spaces and for different people and for different products, right? You've seen people who advertise cars using women's faces to advertise the cars. It does not call for me who's seeing that advertisement to say, since you're exposing yourself as you're advertising a car, it means I should now comment about your body, I should harass you, I should comment about how ugly your breasts are, or you know, it does not call for that. That is a form of advertisement. And according to the person who's advertising, it is working for them, right? It does not call for the space to be unsafe for me. So I think we need to look at it from that angle. Because we look at women and what they do online in the lens of them calling it upon themselves, right? No one invites violence upon themselves. When a girl starts dancing on TikTok, she's not wearing a label that says, since I am dancing like this, it means you can look for me and rape me, or you can, I offer
come on, you have a good
or
time.
I offer sex work services. No, I am dancing on TikTok. I'm having a great time. I'm doing whatever I am doing on TikTok.
So we don't mind the intention of why you're doing that.
Even as men are engaging on TikTok, why is it that women do not reach out to them with sexual comments? It's women on the receiving end. But no one comments about men who come on TikTok with bare chests.
Are they attractive?
That's a problem. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Are they attractive? Why is a woman's
Counsel, please.
It's what I said.
Help me through.
It's relative, and we are seeing it through the lenses of men, and it needs to stop.
So I think our viewer, you've gotten that very right, Sarah. Grace here. Well. So we need to change perspective of how we see these things. But the biggest point is we end violence. Do not be part of it.
Yeah.
If someone posts that, do not send that comment. You know, because for you, that is what you think are intentions. Them, if they land on your phone or in a group by accident, don't be that catalyst in ensuring everybody has seen them have you seen the nudes of so and so? Have you seen, you know?
For what?
For what? What are you? So please don't do that. Well, I come back to you, Solomon.
Yes.
Call for action.
Call for action, yes. Government, because they are caretakers in society. One, we need to allocate more funds to gender-based violence response units. We need to allocate more funds. You see the prioritization as well in this country is very interesting and funny. Not that I'm attacking anyone. When I was looking at the budget for last year, the clothing of the Office of the Speaker, I will not say Speaker, but Office of the Speaker is interesting. But such money would have gone to, let me say, a unit around gender-based violence or protection, let me see, promotion of making sure that girls maybe have sanitary pads in schools. So we need to do more with our prioritization as a country. We need to allocate more funds to gender-based violence response units. We also need to adopt survivor-based reporting mechanisms, just like Grace was saying. We need to look at the young of the survivor, not usually from the end of the perpetrator or the community that is harassing and commenting and sending all these comments on TikTok or Twitter or Facebook. And then also our government as well. We need to enlighten our people about the laws that exist around gender-based violence. We need to, if it involves maybe localizing the laws and putting them in our local languages so that people understand these laws and they are aware that these laws exist, it is a perfect, I believe it would be a perfect the law. But then also to our communities, let's support the survivors of digital era. We need to provide safe spaces. Usually people, when such incidents happen, people hide. They go off the spaces and they go into some form of enclosure. So we need to give them a safe space. We need to provide emotional and physical support to them. But equally to the women and the girls, you need to know your rights as a person. Know the rights that affect you. Know where you need to run to, where you need to report to. In case of any challenge, reach out to lawyers. We are available, and as Women's Pro Bono Initiative and equally other partners in this journey in eradicating gender-based violence. Yeah.
Well, that is a call for action. Now, Grace, I know there is so much you can say when it comes to call for action, but just picking up briefly from what Solomon said.
Yeah.
You see, most of the times in my career, I was so much, there was an organization called for Center for, is it something against domestic violence?
Oh, domestic violence prevention,
CEDOVIP, yes.
Yes.
So they are very active. I don't know what happened to them.
They're still very
They are still very active.
And
very
they had
active.
a very vocal person. I think she was called something to the Singura Narongo. Very vocal lady, but I heard she went to be with the Lord. Now, one of the things I found out was we have the laws.
Yes.
But then seeing through a domestic violence case is also another complicated issue. First, sometimes you find that even already the victim is judged.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
an offense has been committed, but also society is condemning. You know, someone says, remember one time I followed a case of a young girl, I think, who went to visit a boyfriend, and the boyfriend raped her.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, but I mean, by the time you dressed up,
That way.
you went to visit this young man.
Implied consent.
What were you expecting? Why are you even disturbing us?
Yeah.
Was he your brother? Was he your sister? The whole society was, you know. When you talk about someone being harassed on social media, maybe threatened, someone has landed on the nudes and for some reason, fear and all that. So I was like, but why did you take these pictures?
Yeah.
So how do we ensure effective enforcement of the law so that we can set precedence? I remember there was one of our celebrities who's, I think, Nigerian boyfriend assaulting a minister.
Yeah.
What can you do? You're lying. You know, so this become, what must we do? Because unless we set precedent, and someone is taken and serves sentences that people will fear. But it's become normal. Today they share graces, tomorrow they'll share the others. We shall watch, we shall laugh, we shall smile, we shall pass insults. And you just go you just go to look for a counselor, cry somewhere, and move with this pain. Yeah.
So just stop victim blaming. Let's look at this perspective, a human rights perspective. To do the things that you wish, right? And number two, digital spaces, online spaces are now like the spaces where we operate, where we do everything, right? So it means that it needs to be safe and needs to be enjoyed by every user. And users need to stop, so there's something nowadays that it's technically called the manosphere, where certain groups of men have formed groups online, Twitter and Facebook, and they are now organizing and mobilizing against women's rights activists in the name of, we now need to groom men into masculine men. Men have lost their masculinity because of this whole feminist agenda. We need to take men back to being traditional men and leads in the families and taking control of their families. So you see, those are messages that are put on X. That means a woman who's in her home and she's experiencing abuse, you know, similar to that, she's not going to come out and report because so-and-so, a popular media person, has endorsed it, right? The police might not be able to support the victim, you know, who might be a victim of the bullying or the harassment online by these groups of men, right? Because they're like, why are you engaging with them online? Just ignore them. No, you cannot just ignore them. Just block them. Just do not comment. Unfortunately, then if you tell me just do not comment, it's like being in a community and I'm walking around and I'm being sexually harassed and you're telling me just don't walk, stay in your house, right? That you're limiting my human rights. You're limiting how I...
Some say we want to raise the Old Testament men again.
Exactly. So you're limiting how I express myself. So digital users, online platform users, for me, my call to action is to you. Number one, refrain from, you know, harassing people online. The same way you are out there expressing yourself and you want to be heard, it's the same way everyone else who's on that platform needs to be heard and needs to share their, whatever they are there to share. So make the space safe for everyone. And he mentioned the legal gaps. I think that law enforcement officers, the police, the prosecutors, and judicial officers need to have their capacities enhanced in terms of investigating and prosecuting online violence, because many times these perpetrators are people hidden behind screens. Victims are also people hidden behind screens, right? So you find that gathering evidence is a bit hard, and now with AI and everything, someone will just say, oh, that's AI. Or it's not the person that I'm talking about, or my voice was manipulated using AI, I did not say that. So the police really needs to find ways and come up to speed in terms of how to investigate these cases, and prosecutors on how to prosecute these cases. Because when we do not act now, these are going to translate into the most extreme forms of violence against women. We've seen women being stalked online. They now use, again, AI or digital tools to track their physical addresses. And when they're found, some of them, you find someone who's stalking them at their gate. They don't leave their gate, but it started as an online harassment thing. And then it turns into something like femicide. this woman is killed just because of the views she expresses on X that do not rub some people the right way. So it's a really serious thing, and it's very timely because at this point we are utilizing technology and online platforms for pretty much everything. Kids are having school online. So if we make that space unsafe for our little girls, right, then it is not any different from sexually harassing these girls in the schools, the physical harassment that happens in the schools. So I really just want to implore all concerned stakeholders to take action.
Well, I want to thank you so very much, my guests this morning, and fellow Ugandans. We are in the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. We are talking about all forms of gender-based violence. So let's ensure that we make the world a safe place for the young girls and women out there. Treat every woman like your mother, like your sister, like your beloved daughter. Let's make these spaces very. And to the ladies, of late, many men are also experiencing gender-based violence. Please spare us. Treat us like your sons. Treat us like your fathers. Treat us like your uncles. And together we can end gender-based violence. Not forgetting, let's erode that culture, those norms, those small things that are no longer of any value and use in the 21st century. We shouldn't cling on to them. God bless you. See you Monday.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding